Ladies and gentlemen, buckle up because what I'm about to tell you is shaking the entire Republican Party to its core. Just when America thought that the rhino establishment had been buried for good, just when the Trump administration finally restored order after the chaos of the Biden years, the Bush dynasty has quietly slipped out of the shadows with a plan so desperate, so calculated, and so reckless that senior White House officials are calling it the single biggest internal threat to the America First movement since 2016. And trust me, guys, you're going to want to hear every second of this because tonight we're not just talking about the rumors or whispers. We are talking about confirmed reports that the Bush family, right along with a handful of old guard GOP megadonors, they're actively plotting for a full-scale comeback. This is one that's designed to drag the party back to the pre-Trump era, back to endless foreign wars, back to outsourcing American jobs, and back to corporate control policies that nearly wiped out the American middle class. Now, here's what they didn't expect, though. J.D. Vance just blew their entire operation wide open publicly, directly naming the figures, naming the failures of the old GOP, and making it rather clear we're not going back. And within hours, Donald Trump Jr. responded with a shockwave of his own. We will never let this happen. Their entire 2028 blueprint, Cruz, donors, strategy just collapsed in real time. Now, tonight, we're exposing all of it. The secret meetings, the Bush-Cruz alliance, the attempted takeover. This is the political civil war that the media hoped you would never see, and it starts right now. Hit the like button and subscribe. Now, let's go ahead and break this down, okay? Because what's happening behind the scenes is even more disturbing than what the public headlines reveal. Now, over the past several days, multiple reports, credible reports, confirm that a renewed rhino sabotage effort is underway inside the Republican Party. Not whispers, not speculation, but documented moves by old guard operatives. They're attempting to claw back the power that they lost when President Trump reclaimed the White House earlier this year. Now, here's the part that they hope that you would not hear. This isn't even a small faction. It's coordinated, it's deeper, larger, more strategic than anything exposed in the original Rhino plot months ago. This is a full-scale takeover attempt, plain and simple. And leading this attempt comeback, shockingly, but maybe not surprisingly, is the Bush family. Yes, the same dynasty that shaped the GOP establishment for decades is suddenly reactivating old donor networks, phoning consultants, and quietly assembling the very operatives Trump removed from influence over the last 8 years. Now, according to insiders, they have positioned themselves as the responsible alternative to Trump and the populist America First movement. But let's be honest here, guys. Every time the Bush wing held power, we got open borders, globalist trade deals, and endless foreign entanglements. This is why Trump allies are alarmed. These aren't innocent meetings. This is the blueprint of a direct ideological counterattack. Now, here's where things get even more revealing. Early leaked conversation, yes, leaked, show that the Bush network has quietly identified their preferred 2028 candidate, and it's none other than Ted Cruz. This is the same Ted Cruz whose political roots tie directly back to Bush World fundraising, Bush World strategists, and Bush World donor circles going all the way back to 2016. To the old GOP establishment. To the old GOP establishment, Cruz is the perfect Trojan horse, conservative enough to appear acceptable to the base, but loyal enough to restore the pre-Trump Republican blueprint. And when you compare this to Cruz's history of siding with foreign interests over America First, the alignment becomes undeniable. You know, before we move forward, I do want to take a moment to speak directly to those of you who are watching who've spent your entire life taking care of everyone else, your family, your friends, your community. Isn't it time someone finally took care of you? This is why I partner with Chapter. They treat your Medicare plan like it actually matters, because it does. Now, one viewer told me, for once, I actually felt like someone was on my side, and that stuck with me. So let me ask you, do you deserve a team that protects you? Now, most people already found theirs at the phone number down below on your screen or by visiting askchapter.org/Ron. That phone number again is 909-563-8279. And here's what another viewer had to say. So Carrie Mask said, Chapter just saved me $3,500 by changing plans. I love it, guys. That's real money, real relief, real help. All right, so let's get back to the breaking political drama here. So here's the part that really sent shockwaves through the country. Donald Trump Jr. didn't just stay silent. He didn't deflect. He didn't water it down. He went full public, full force, warning that the MAGA movement will never allow GOP to be hijacked again by establishment insiders. His message wasn't just a statement, it was a shot across the bow. It told the Bush camp, the Cruz camp, and every rhino lurking the shadows that the White House is fully aware of the plot and already preparing to counter it. And the timing matters. Trump is still the sitting president. This fight is happening right now, not in some distant future. And right as that warning from Don Jr. hit the political bloodstream, Vice President J.D. Vance stepped in with what might be the most devastating rebuke of the old GOP that we've heard in over a decade. Vance didn't tiptoe. He went scorched earth, calling out the catastrophic failures that defined the Bush-era Republican Party, the outsourcing of American jobs, the disastrous foreign wars, the globalist economic agenda, and the collapse of the U.S. manufacturing. I mean, his message resonated instantly because he spoke directly to the voters who rebuilt the GOP base back in 2016. This is why the Bush wing fears him. He is their number one obstacle to reclaiming control in 2028. Now, Vance's comments didn't just expose the past. They drew a red line between two Republican parties fighting for dominance right now. On the one side, you got the old GOP, neocons, globalists, interventionists, the same people who shipped jobs overseas and dragged Americans into endless wars. But on the other side stands the America First GOP, reshoring factories, restoring borders, rebuilding manufacturing, defending workers, and rejecting globalist influence. And Vance made the case clearly. America cannot go back to the policies that failed working class families for 40 straight years. The contrast is so sharp, it's so undeniable that it's igniting a full-blown ideological civil war inside the party. Now, inside the Trump White House, officials aren't treating this like a nuisance. They're treating it like a coordinated attempt to roll back the movement that reshaped the Republican Party forever. So while they're careful not to disclose sensitive details, the administration's public posture, it says plenty. It's pretty much united around America First is non-negotiable. As the 2026 midterms approach, Trump understands that the stakes could not be higher. This isn't just another election cycle. This is a referendum on the party's future identity. Will the GOP remain the workers' first, anti-globalist force rebuilt by Trump and Vance, or will it be dragged backward into the Bush-era model that voters rejected? That's the battlefield right here, guys. But the clearest sign of an establishment resurgence comes from the donor class because the old money is moving again. Reports show major pre-Trump mega donors quietly testing the waters, attending the off-the-record gatherings hosted by Bush World alumni and probing for a 2028 candidate who can restore order, if you know what I mean. That's establishment code for undoing everything Trump rebuilt. Meanwhile, Trump-aligned donors are doubling down, warning that any betrayal of the America First movement will fracture the party beyond repair. The tension is unmistakable. Elites planning for a post-Trump GOP versus the millions of voters who refuse to surrender the movement that they fought to build. It's a high-stakes split, guys. So now, here's the strategic blind spot that the Bush faction is banking on, and the exact weakness J.D. Vance has been shouting from the rooftops. The new Republican base, the working class coalition that Trump built, does not turn out automatically in midterms. These aren't country club voters who show up out of habit. They need inspiration. They need conviction. They need a reason. And Vance warned that if the GOP slips back into establishment rhetoric, they will stay home. And the Bush wing already knows that. This is precisely the gap that they're trying to exploit. Remove the America First message, demotivate the base, and quietly slip back into power. Now, one of the clearest examples of why the base trusts J.D. Vance and not the old GOP is his laser focus on the housing affordability crisis. Under Biden, home prices doubled or even tripled, shutting out an entire generation of young Americans out of the housing market. Meanwhile, the Bush-era Republicans ignored this issue for years. J.D. Vance has made it a top West Wing priority, arguing that a nation where families can't buy homes is a nation in decline. So by targeting zoning abuses, foreign real estate influence, and supply shortages, Vance is fighting for the very voters that the establishment abandoned, and that terrifies the people plotting their comeback. Nothing exposes the philosophical divide between America First and the old GOP more clearly than foreign policy. And Ted Cruz handed the establishment's playbook to the public on a silver platter. So when Cruz openly bragged that his stated intention entering Congress was to be the leading defender of Israel, it sent shockwaves through the movement, not because Americans don't support allies, but because it confirmed exactly what JD Vance has warned about. The Bush-era mindset puts foreign priorities above American ones. So to millions of voters, Cruz's commitment was a flashing red siren. It revealed the deeper blueprint for the Rhino comeback, return to globalism at America's expense. And nobody here wants that, at least not the real patriots. But even while battling establishment sabotage, Vance has made something painfully clear. The real threat doesn't come from within the GOP. It comes from the radical left. In recent remarks, he reminded the country that this far left movement has no policies, it has no reform, it has no platform, and it has no vision beyond one objective: destroy President Trump and anyone connected to his administration. Now, Vance warned that internal division only weakens Republicans at the exact moment when the left is escalating its political warfare, weaponizing institutions and targeting Trump allies. His point was unmistakable. The party cannot afford disunity, not when the far left is actively trying to dismantle the America First agenda. So when you step back and kind of look at the bigger picture, it becomes obvious. We are living through the most important internal Republican showdown since President Trump first came down that escalator in 2015. Only now the stakes are even higher. I mean, Trump is the sitting president. The 2026 midterms are charging toward us like a freight train, and looming just beyond that is the 2028 election, which will determine whether America First becomes the permanent identity for the GOP or whether the party is dragged back to the Bush-era model that voters rejected almost a decade ago. This isn't political drama. This is a historic identity war. And so let's be brutally honest about what a Bush-era comeback would mean for this country. Because the establishment won't say it out loud, it means a return to free trade globalism that gutted American manufacturing. It means foreign interventionism, endless wars, and defense contractors running the show again. It means corporate first economics where Wall Street thrives and working families get crumbs. And it means amnesty leading immigration policies that flood the labor market and depress wages. Everything the America First movement fought to overturn, everything voters rejected in 2016, it would be reinstated overnight. This is the future that the Bush wing is quietly engineering behind the scenes. And so here's the part that should terrify every rhino scheming for a comeback. The America First base has already mobilized. Social media is erupting. Influencers like this channel are calling out the plot by name, and grassroots leaders who fought alongside Trump in 2016, they're stepping forward again. JD Vance's voice has become the philosophical backbone of this movement, clarifying exactly what's at stake, while Trump Jr. rallies millions with the same fire that his father brought to the original MAGA wave. The message is unified and unmistakable. This isn't politics. Patriots see this as a fight for the soul of the Republican Party, and we're not backing down. So as we close tonight, here's the reality. The 2026 midterms and the 2028 presidential race are no longer routine election cycles. They are existential forks in the road. Now, on the one side stands America First, Trump, Vance, working class voters, national strength, economic independence, and a future built for American families. But on the other side stands the Bush-era restoration, donor class elites, globalist policies, foreign entanglements, open borders, and a party disconnected from its base. This is the choice. And if the last few weeks revealed anything, it's this. Americans aren't interested in going backward. So stay alert, guys. Stay focused. Hit the like button, subscribe, share this video. The Rhino plot is real, but together we shut it down. Hey, by the way, guys, if you're one of the real ones who really enjoy what we do here on the channel, you've got to check out the Inner Circle. This is where our true supporters get exclusive access to content that I just can't share here, completely commercial free. It's also the best way to keep this channel going strong. So if you want to be a part of something special, join us over there. Links in the description or in the pinned comment down below.